Thank you for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like it. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew, 35M, and I've got a pretty wild story to share. One that's left me confused, angry, and maybe just a bit hopeful in odd ways. I was married to Marissa, 34F, for about 7 years. That year, Marissa got really into astrology, courtesy of Instagram and TikTok. It began as a harmless hobby. She'd read me our horoscopes or blame Mercury being in retrograde for a bad day. No big deal. But once things opened back up, the first thing she did was hunt for a professional astrologer. She became enthralled with birth chart readings, energy cleansing, you name it. Soon she was basing every single decision on star alignments. She planned meals, vacations, and even serious family matters by consulting the astrologer first. Times of day, which direction to face while talking about finances. Stuff got that bizarre. But I tried to be supportive, telling myself it was her harmless way of coping with the chaos of the pandemic. I never wanted to be the controlling husband who dismissed her interests. But eventually, it crossed a line. She spent hundreds of dollars monthly on this, and it turned into an obsession. We'd argue because she believed certain hours were unlucky for us to talk about big issues. She'd say I couldn't make decisions because my stars were misaligned. We'd bicker constantly over trivial things. I still tried to respect her beliefs. Each time I told myself, if it's harmless, fine. The problem was, it no longer felt harmless. Then came the day my world blew up. She told me her astrologer had discovered something massive in her birth chart. Apparently, I wasn't her real soulmate. Instead, my younger brother, Connor, 33M, was. The astrologer had apparently done a massive reading that proved they had the strongest cosmic connection possible. She sat me down in our living room, tears in her eyes, telling me her new fate. She said the universe had decreed she was with the wrong partner and that she belonged to Connor. She insisted she had no choice. The stars had spoken. She cried that it wasn't her fault, it was destiny. I was at a total loss for words. I tried to reason with her, but each argument I made, she countered with some star-based nonsense. She said our marriage's real problem was that my sign or energy never aligned with hers. She concluded we were doomed from the start, ignoring the fact we'd been happy for years. At first, I prayed this was some elaborate joke. But her tears were real, her conviction unwavering. She was giving up on me to be with my own brother. Then came the real kicker. Connor was perfectly okay with it. He didn't look guilty or surprised. He was just there, patting her back, reassuring her it was for the best. Our family basically told me to accept fate, that if the astrologer was correct, it was unstoppable. My parents actually told me to let go and not be an obstacle, because the universe must know best. I felt so alone, screaming inside about how insane it was. But no one seemed to share my outrage. So Marissa left me for Connor. I filed for divorce, obviously. I won't detail that entire nightmare, but it was brutal. We had to wait about 6 months for everything to finalize. I spent that period numb in therapy, feeling betrayed by 2 people I loved. Meanwhile, my wife, ex-wife, kept talking to me as though this was normal. She genuinely believed the stars forced her hand. My brother acted like he was sorry, but still had zero hesitation in living with Marissa in a destined relationship. A year later, a surprise for my ex-wife. I was trying to move on quietly, focusing on work. Then a year after the divorce, Marissa contacted me out of nowhere, insistent on meeting face-to-face. She said it was urgent. My gut told me to ignore her, but curiosity won. We met in a cafe. She looked like a mess, red-eyed, anxious, hardly sleeping. And as soon as we sat down, she broke down crying, begging me for forgiveness. She claimed she made a horrible mistake that I had to hear her out. Then she told me the whole shocking truth. She'd overheard Connor talking on the phone with the astrologer. She discovered that Connor had paid the astrologer to make up that soulmate nonsense. He bribed the guy to feed Marissa exactly what she wanted to hear, knowing how deep she dived into astrology. He'd apparently been jealous of me for years and wanted everything I had. Once he realized how big an influence the astrologer had on Marissa, he manipulated the situation. The astrologer was struggling financially, so it was easy for him to pocket some cash and declare that Connor and Marissa had the strongest cosmic bond. My ex-wife was devastated. She realized she'd been duped in the worst possible way. She'd blown up our marriage, cut me off, all because of a fraudulent reading. Moreover, Connor turned out to be controlling and mean. She said their relationship was a nightmare and that he was, ironically, emotionally abusive. Now that she knew his scheme, she left him. She came to me sobbing, saying she was beyond sorry, that she still loved me and wanted to make things right. She asked if I could ever take her back. Torn emotions, finding out the real story both enraged and relieved me. I wasn't sure if that made it better or worse. On the one hand, it wasn't the stars or some grand destiny. It was my brother's vile manipulation. On the other hand, Marissa still made the choice to believe that nonsense without even considering me or our marriage vows. At that meeting, I said I needed time to think. She pleaded, crying, saying she never stopped loving me, that it was all an illusion. But how do I trust her after what she did? She wholeheartedly believed the astrologer's claim and never gave me a chance to prove her fate was wrong. She even been cruel, claiming I was a cosmic mismatch. She walked out on me for my own brother, let him share our bed, introduced him to the kids as a father figure. Now she realized it was all a lie, but the damage was done. I asked the internet, am I the jerk for refusing to take her back? Because a part of me still loves her, or at least loves the memory of who she was. But the rest of me is furious and humiliated. Not to mention, how can I have faith in her if she's so easily convinced by random star-based claims? Update 1. Thanks, everyone, for your responses. Many said I shouldn't take her back, which aligns with my gut feeling. She chose him so readily, ignoring all logic. A few asked about my relationship with Connor. We were never close. He was always jealous. Our parents coddled him, letting him sabotage me and never scolding him. They just tell me to be the bigger person. So him stooping to this new low is horrifying, but not completely out of the blue. Update 2. Couldn't stop dwelling on it. I needed to confirm from the astrologer's mouth if Connor truly paid him. Also, Marissa kept insisting it was all an elaborate con. So I tracked the guy down, confronted him. At first, he played dumb, babbling about star signs. But I cornered him, demanding the truth. He finally cracked, confessing that yes, Connor bribed him to say they were soulmates. No threats were involved, just money. The astrologer claimed he needed fast cash. Hearing that was both validating and infuriating. I was right. The star alignment talk was nonsense, orchestrated by my brother. But the story got wilder. The astrologer panicked after I confronted him, started telling other people the same story. He'd also told them Connor threatened him, though that might be him saving face. Soon, the rumor spread like wildfire in local circles. Everyone learned how Connor faked a cosmic reading to steal his sister-in-law from me. People turned on him. His reputation tanked, friendships dissolved, and even professional contacts avoided him. He's losing business, basically reaping what he sowed. As for Marissa, once she confirmed the astrologer's confession, she was more desperate than ever, saying she was manipulated. She claims she was blinded and begs me daily to come back. Honestly, I can't forgive her so easily. She believed a random scam over her own husband. She humiliated me and left me for my own brother. Even if she was tricked, it's too massive to get over. It's been 5 months since that bombshell. Connor's life is in freefall. Everyone's cut ties with him. He tried calling me, swearing he's innocent, but the astrologer twisted the story. I know better. I told him to get lost. My parents, who initially supported fate, have also come around, apologizing for not seeing the truth. But that apology turned out to be short-lived once they realized Connor is in trouble. They wanted me to publicly defend him. I refused. They accused me of being cruel, so I distanced myself from them too. I can't keep playing there be the bigger person, rescue your poor brother game after what he did. Meanwhile, I moved to another state for a new job. A fresh start, away from all that drama. Marissa last tried once more to get me back, insisting she'd renounce astrology, realized how insane she was. She wanted to fix our marriage. A small part of me was tempted. Years of love don't vanish overnight, but I realized I mostly miss companionship, not necessarily her. I can't see trusting her again. I started dating casually. Recently, I met someone, Michelle, who's level-headed and big on communication. We get along great. No illusions. No star readings deciding our fate. It's refreshing. I'm taking it slow, focusing on rebuilding my life. Feels good, though. For the first time in a while, I'm looking to the future with some optimism. Thanks again, everyone. If anything else happens, I'll update, but for now, I'm just moving forward, learning from the chaos my brother and ex-wife created. A final UPA. Hello, folks. It's been about 5 more months. People keep messaging, wondering if I've vanished or something. I'm okay, just avoiding infidelity forums because it can still trigger me. But I'll do one final wrap-up. Connor's situation got worse. Everyone deserted him, business contacts cut him off, clients left. It's essentially facing the consequences of paying an astrologer to break up my marriage. My parents tried to guilt me into helping him. I refused. They're upset, but I can't fix a mess he created. I keep them at arm's length. Marissa realized how fully she was manipulated. She told me everything. She's humiliated, wants me to forgive her. But I can't. She'll believe an obvious lie because she wanted to. Despite her regrets, it's too late. We're done. I moved states for a fresh start. I have a new job, a new place, a calmer environment. I began dating someone stable who's big on honesty. It's going great. Our kids are adjusting. My new partner respects my past and is patient with me. No drama, no star-based illusions. Connor's life is in shambles. He tried calling me for sympathy. I told him to deal with it himself. We no longer speak. My parents remain disappointed I won't swoop in to save Connor, but I stopped caring about their guilt trips. Marissa stays in sporadic contact, sometimes apologizing, sometimes blaming Connor, sometimes begging me back. I keep it brief. I feel at peace for the first time in ages, not a perfect happily ever after, but a stable new beginning that's free of manipulations and cosmic nonsense. So that's it, the final story. My wife left me for my brother because some astrologer said they were soulmates, only for us all to learn later that my brother bribed the astrologer to lie. Now she wants to come crawling back, but I've moved on. I'm not the same person who let her walk all over me, and I refuse to re-enter that chaos. Life goes on, and I'm in a much better place.